So in your mind, you're diving a little bit deeper into the negative thoughts they have about something that triggered them. Could it be that I'm only seeing the past? What is the situation or event that has triggered me? The awareness says, what are the negative thoughts I'm having about what happened? So it's more thoughts, neuroscience. Gentleness in this moment. We were just talking about compassion. So funny. What would self-compassion say in this moment? And then energy redirect is where I go into Byron Katie's work, and it's how can I challenge these negative thoughts and beliefs in order to reroute my attention to the new. Let's say you're in a coaching session and you're feeling that what your client is saying is more thought based, like they're having some negative patterns, some beliefs, some distortions. So it's not necessarily an emotion, it's not necessarily a relationship thing, or if it is a relationship thing, there's something they believe about it. So you want to work with their beliefs, is my bottom line. So you're going to pause and say, so tell me more about the situation, or probably they have already been telling you about the situation. That's the pause. What happened? And then in under awareness, you can ask, what are some of the negative thoughts you have about this? Sometimes clients, when you ask that question, they might not know necessarily how to answer it, like negative thoughts about this, but listen, because they might already have been telling you negative thoughts. So a lot of the times as they're talking, they are sharing negative thoughts about what's going on, and you might want to take notes on that and then ask them a little bit more. So you said that blah blah blah, can you tell me a little bit more about that? So in your mind, you're diving a little bit deeper into the negative thoughts they have about something that triggered them. Under gentleness, you could just ask that question, what would self-compassion say right now? It's another way of saying what would gentleness say or do right now, but we're just using the word self-compassion. So now you've primed them. You heard the event, you heard the negative thoughts, you heard what would self-compassion say, and now we're ready for the redirect. So in this particular redirect, I'm using a very specific step-by-step process, which again is a blend of Course in Miracles, my stuff, and Byron Katie. So Byron Katie's work, she says, is this thought really true? So in her work, you got to identify the thought first before you ask that question. So you got to know, what is the thought you're working with? You guys understand what I mean by that, right? Like whole thoughts chart and beyond, like what are they telling themselves? What's the story they've created around this? And then you want to isolate one thought and ask about that one thought. Is this thought really true? Maybe it's like this all or nothing. I never get respected at work. Nobody ever listens to me. I don't matter to people. I'm not good enough. So is this thought really true? So here they might say, yeah, I mean, it is true. I feel it's true. Or they might say, I don't know, maybe it's like 90% true. So, but again, you're priming them with that question. Second question, Byron Katie again, am I 100% sure that this thought I have about what happened is the truth of what's going on? So she adds that, am I 100% sure? Are you 100% sure? So usually by that point, when you ask it that way, the client will be like, maybe I'm like 99%. right? So you're starting to break down their ego a little bit here. So that's what I like about her work, is it does break down a little bit of that rigid ego belief system. Keep asking that until she gets to like a breakdown moment, or they get to the core of something, and then usually there's big releases happening. What I ask after that is, could it be that I'm only seeing the past? And that's a lesson in A Course in Miracles that says I only see the past. And that's why I cannot perceive things as they are right now, because all I see right now is the past. So a big thing about Course in Miracles is that right now we think we know what's going on. We have certain perceptions, but everything we're perceiving and seeing is based on the past. So it really isn't how it really is, because all I'm seeing is the past. Back to like, could it be that I'm only seeing the past? Most of us, unless we've done some work, we are seeing only the past. So you want to just help your client in that moment to see, are you really seeing this event that has triggered you and you're having these negative thoughts? Are you really seeing what's going on? Or is this something else you're holding on to from the past that's creating this to be a triggering situation? The neuroscience tip I'm sharing is that since I cannot hold two mutually exclusive thought systems at the same time, i.e., ego thought system and right minded thought system, how quickly am I willing to switch to the right minded once I can perceive the situation more right mindedly? So you could explain to them that obviously, if you are within level 1 and they are within this module, you don't need to explain to them. You can just have a discussion about it. But if you're using this coaching technique outside of that, you might want to explain a little bit about the two parts of us, the ego and the right mind. And that when we are in one of those thought systems, we are automatically not in the other. So when I am in my right minded, even if it's like a split second, I am not in my ego. And when I am in my ego, in that split second, I'm not in my right mind. And we go back and forth very quickly. Some of us don't even go to the right mind. We're just in the ego.
Now, quick question: if we get into like neuroscience in regards to that, where you can't hold two thoughts, exclusive thoughts at the same time, isn't that different regions of the brain then too? Is the ego more associated to the limbic brain and like, or no? That's another question that I have about the ego.
Frequently asked questions, and I know that's one that people have asked: is ego associated with the brain and what parts of it? So I want to read that, because my understanding from what I remember is that the mind and the brain are not the same. So the
No,
ego mind and the right mind are on that level of the chart that's consciousness,
yeah, above, not part of the physical.
not part of the physical body. So, and when it comes to my brain, I can use my limbic system, my frontal lobe, my all lobes to channel through right-mindedness or to channel through ego. So my brain is just a vehicle. My brain is neutral. Now, after a few years on this planet Earth, I've created neural networks that have supported the ego. So I got some work to break free from that, right? So we use neuroscience to break these ego neural networks, let's say it this way, and start creating new, which is support more of the right-mindedness. So then my brain starts functioning in a right-minded way, which means I'm going to use my limbic system also to support a right-minded performance. It's not like the limbic system goes right.
Yeah.
So, but I don't have the fight or flight response like Dan Siegel talks about, right? Like the anatomy of the brain, like the limbic system doesn't go like that, because I am more balanced in the parasympathetic nervous system and all the things. So it's not necessarily that the brain or certain parts of it have anything to do with it, but also when we look at the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, he does find certain parts of the brain that light up when people are having awakening moments, when they are meditating deeply, when they are. So, yes, the brain supports the spiritual aspect of us, but it's not the brain that is the ego or that is the right mind.